And now you really ain't getting no shoes for Junior or Lord CC because you're getting $500 now.
Right.
Yeah, but you gotta remember, if you're a good father, or a good mother, and you paying child support, right? You still gonna go ahead and do all that because
hold on.
It's just what it is.
Hold on, and that's another situation.
Right.
But you know what that creates? Now when we at the party, mommy and daddy ain't even down there speaking to each other. Cause daddy done paid for the party and he done came out of pocket this month with $600.
Right, that's your child.
Be mad.
Listen. He shouldn't be mad, but he also has another child with his wife.
That's on him.
Okay,
go ahead.
He got another child with his wife.
Okay.
Right. And you're taking away from them.
And they taking away
Well, he should have kept it in his pants.
Exactly.
Should have kept it in his pants. Stop complaining. Stop complaining. Stop complaining.
You on some whole, he on some whole other shit over here. He on some whole other shit. I'm gonna tell you.
Artists Exchange.
The Artists Exchange. The Artists Exchange. The Artists Exchange.
The Artists Exchange.
Artists Exchange Live.
The Artists Exchange. The Artists Exchange.
The Artists Exchange.
Starts now. Welcome to the Artists Exchange radio show in live only on BigExposedRadio.com. I'm your host, Nate. This is your camera over there. I'm learning. 5 years in. But there you go. So we're here today. I'm your host, Nate. We have a special co-host for today. She'll be coming back in a few moments. We have a special giveaway for the Adina Howard Nasty single in celebration of her album, Resurrection. She has a couple giveaways. So if you call in, the caller will get a prize. So 410-702-5657 and just talk to us, show us some love, and we'll be here. But in the building right now, we have Mr. Joe. This Joe.
No. Yeah, we're going to
How do you say your last name?
Tynes.
Tynes. Okay, I said it right. I said it right.
Yeah.
I don't normally say people's names right, but I got it right this time. So we have Joe here. I met him at the Impact Hub.
Yeah.
He's the new community manager there.
Correct.
That means he does everything. They didn't tell him that before, but they got him.
Yeah, they got him. I'm hooked now.
But he's a really cool, laid-back person, and I normally people watch a lot. So I watch you. When you're talking to someone, you're talking to that person, and I value that in people because often we're worried about what's going on over here, and we're not focused on the moment that we're in. I'm not going to tell people that he just met someone and didn't realize it, but he was focused on what he was here to do. Yeah. We'll say it that way. Yeah. So let us know a little bit about who you are, and I called you the man on a mission. In our like advertisement for this, because it just seemed like you on a mission.
Absolutely.
And there's nothing really distracting you that I know of. Yeah. But you just stay focused on wherever it is that you're going. So tell us a little bit about how you got to this point.
Absolutely. So my name is Joe Tynes. I went to Mount St. Joe.
Okay.
Oh yeah. I'm a St. Joe kid. Okay. So
that's where the seriousness comes from.
Yeah. I think so.
I'm a curly kid myself, so that's where my crazy comes from.
Yeah. So I'm from Hanover, Maryland, 21076. You know what I mean? Run the Mills Boulevards out here. You know what I mean? And I rap it to the fullest, you know what I mean? But yeah,
gotta
man.
Be extra, because he just said Hanover Boulevard.
Yeah.
Like that's not like a development.
Yeah, that's straight suburbs. Yeah, I mean. But I love it though, man.
I've had to use that one time.
Hey, you got to.
Hanover Road.
Yeah. All that. I'm the youngest in my family. Okay. I went to Salisbury University and I got my master's in social work from Baltimore, University of Maryland, Baltimore. And my focus is in community action and social policy. I did a lot of community organizing work
so
while I was
actually worked at Salisbury. You didn't party your way through Salisbury.
So So what I did was I graduated with my bachelor's in social work at Salisbury University and realized that I wanted to be a community organizer from a Shirley Chisholm documentary. And it was at that moment that I said, like, I think I want to mobilize people.
He was broke that night. You didn't go out that night.
Like I was, so it was like it was kind of like a documentary that was happening for like freshmen. It was like my junior year, and we were showing freshmen this video. Seminar. Yeah, like a freshman seminar video. And I looked at what Shirley Chisholm was doing, and how she was just mobilizing people towards a common goal.
At a time when that was impossible for her, being who she was.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so I looked at that, and I said, man, I think I want to do something similar. And I decided to come to Baltimore, come back into Baltimore. I was born in Baltimore. I wasn't raised here. So I wanted to come back and get my master's in social work. I started learning more about the context of the city, and I just feel like I want to be here for the rest of my career. If you're into like pharmaceuticals, you want to be in like New Jersey or North Carolina. If you want to do like tech or certain things in the tech world, you want to go to Silicon Valley, San Francisco. You know what I mean, LA. If you're looking to get in this social change world and in this community organizing landscape, I don't see a better place to be than in Baltimore City.
Specifically,
I'm happy.
Baltimore City.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say we have the most nonprofits in terms of social justice, but this is the place that people come to test it out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. And so I did some community organizing work on in the with the Southwest Partnership, which is the 7 lower neighborhoods in Baltimore City. Did some community organizing there. Was at the Center for Urban Families for about 2 years doing some direct case management work. And I found myself in Impact Hub actually as a community lead. So I was volunteering 8 hours a week for probably about 3 or 4 weeks until I got the call up, and they wanted to hire me on as the...
They got the call up.
I got the call up. Hey, they was like, hey, so I mean, like, what do you need? Sure, man. I was like, yeah, man, I would love to partner with the other community leads to figure out how we can create a family of people who are looking to impact this culture and impact Baltimore City for the better. And so it's just been really cool since then.
In terms of, so starting from that social justice area, and now I'm not saying the Impact Hub means artist, but now you're in the arts district, so you're coming across a lot more artists. How are you now connecting creativity with, not to say that you weren't an artist, but connecting now creativity with social justice and the agenda that's on your heart to conquer?
Absolutely. I'm a person that believes that everybody has the capacity to be creative. Even me, who has no...
Not even me.
But I'm serious. So for example, right? Like, I'm not as creative as some others might deem themselves to be. So like, I don't create content in order for it to be sold or for people to possess in their possession.
Not yet. It's gonna come. It's gonna come. I'm telling you.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you.
When you're in the midst of it, it comes out of you, and you start meeting people and learning different techniques. It's coming.
Absolutely. And I think that being able to be a part of a community of artists in an environment that just caters specifically to artists, I'm able to leverage the experiences and the talents of people and making sure that they're getting connected to resources in a way that considers them first and considers their intentions and what they want out of life first. And so the interesting part that I have in my role as a community manager is I'm able to hear what people's needs are, and I'm able to connect that directly to resources.
Let me write down a few things for you.
Absolutely, and it's like, it was really funny because I have a community lead who is currently on staff, just share with me like just some of their concerns about where they are as an entrepreneur and how they want to be able to do this thing first, like full time. But it can get challenging when people don't pay what they say they're gonna pay.
It's not challenging; it gets broke.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so being able to respond to that by connecting them to people who can help mentor them through those opportunities and through those circumstances is something that I kind of bring to the table. I'm also huge on making sure that things are just done correctly. Systems are in place so that Black people can thrive and experience liberation I look to do that in my work, and along the way, I get to meet so many creative, fun individuals who are investing in themselves. Mm-hmm. My only goal is to make sure people feel at home at the Impact Hub Baltimore space, and to make sure that I am in a position to be able to invest everything I can into the goals of people who are affiliated with the cause.
Adjust the mic. I think it's, if you pull it down a little bit, it's a little bit down. Like to clamp it and push it down. Above where the white is, yeah, right there. Yeah. Just above where the white letters are, yeah. In a space where, and here on the Artist Exchange in general, not just the show, I try to give artists that 360 love. Yeah. And sometimes it's not love. It's love. It's in love. Yeah. It's with love, I'll give it. But sometimes it's a hard thing to understand. As you point fingers, that person or this thing, is 3 fingers always pointing back at you. So what am I not organized enough? Am I not humble enough? Because often for artists, because you're creative, you think people should want to invest in that. Yeah. And that is a lie, because just like, you know, Nike or any other organization, I don't need those things. Those are things that I want. These is a very short list of things that are necessities in life. And stuff is not normally. So normally when your money gets a little bit tighter, this need section gets a little tighter also. So I think artists need to really understand and realize I'm not obligated to buy into who you are. Yeah. Often because artists feel as though whatever product, service, or talent I have sits on the table, and everything else about me needs to be behind this black curtain tucked away so the display looks really pretty. And if people can't connect with you, if you're not engaging well enough, people don't want to, they don't know who you are. You could be anything. You could, and most now, like for me, I don't want to put my money into any organization that does not care about the things that I care about. And that sounds selfish, but I don't want to pay for your child and your wife to be a housewife and your child to go to Yale if I got a niece and nieces that can't even get into a good public school. So I want to invest my money into things that are allowing my nieces to thrive too. So I think that's one of the biggest misconceptions with artists. They're not really balanced in how they see things. We're not looking at the business. So somebody like yourself is very necessary to showing us ourselves. And I'll say honestly, I didn't have to answer some of the questions before I came to Impact Hub, and I did like the questionnaire. I didn't have to answer that in college. That's not a class in college. And even as an entrepreneur, those weren't questions that I thought to ask myself and going into business. But we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back here with Joe. So stay tuned, stay locked in. The Artist Exchange Radio Show only on BeExposedRadio.com.
Join the Just a Bit Outside crew every Monday, 8 to 10 p.m. on BeExposedRadio.com.
You want to start off?
I think I'll get it out of the way on a who's not.
Okay, do it.
The Orioles. Right. They got swept by the Royals. They lost 4 in a row, and the last 5 games have all been decided by 1 run. The game before, or the last game that they lost before the Royals was the Nationals, and it was Weeders, of course, one with a home run, hit the home run. They were going into that National Series. It seemed like they were doing so well, and they just crapped out. They got that game postponed, so who knows when they're going to replay that or play that game. That's my first not for the night.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and weigh in on my who's not, and I'm going to talk about the San Diego Padres.
The Padres. That's okay. You Padres just took my answer.
They're in last place in the NL West. They've lost 8 of their last 10. Their run differential is a -65, which is just horrible. So when you have well, let me just talk about run differential a little bit. It's kind of like the
how much you're winning or losing your games by, pretty much.
Yeah. Okay. It's like the margin of victory, kind of.
Right.
So when you're in a negative number, that means that you're.
Then your average game, you're losing
by a whole lot.
Right.
I mean, a number like -65, this early in the season is pretty rough.
That's horrible.
The pitching numbers pretty much support this stat right here. I mean, the team ERA is 4.70, which is 26th in the league. They have 126 walks allowed. They acquired Jared Weaver in the offseason, and he really has not panned out. He's off to one of the worst starts in any of the pitchers in 2017. Mm-hmm. He's 0-4 with a 6.05 ERA. In May alone, he already has 12 earned runs in May. And, another one of their pitchers, Clayton Richard, he's 2-4 with a 4.34 ERA. And, in May, he has 6.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Versus struggling through the entrepreneurial journey individually.
So welcome back to the Artist Exchange Radio Show here live only on BeExposedRadio.com. We got live in the building Mr. Joe Tynes.
Yes.
Baltimore native.
Yeah.
Curator of
Absolutely.
Creative ideas and such. See, you gotta learn how to define it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he is now the community manager at Impact Hub, where I met him, and we're here just talking about who he is. I learned also that he's a radio personality in his own right. Absolutely. Can you tell us a little bit about your show?
Absolutely. So I am currently a co-host on the After Church Show with Greg and friends. It's an opportunity for real talk, real Christians to just discuss different concepts regarding the faith, but also regarding just we are in this world and how we can best serve one another as Christians, how we can best serve one another as people.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no problem.
Keep talking.
Yeah. So that's what we do. We are hosted on AwesomeGodRadio.com, and it's really just a great opportunity to just connect with other people, you know what I mean, and just share laughter and different things like that. We are live every Saturday from 12 to 2 p.m. And we rebroadcast on Tuesdays from 3 to 5. So it's just really an awesome opportunity to be a part of. I've been on the show since March, and the show has been live probably since about 2016. Oh, wow. And so we've just been going forward and really loving every minute of it.
Was that your start in radio, or had you done radio before?
Yes, that was my start in radio. However, I have been a huge fan of radio since I've graduated from college in 2015. Okay. I've just enjoyed like people like Sean Yos and other folks, man. Like they are just very inspiring to me. I really enjoy listening to First Edition with Sean Yos, coming home every day, and I think starting from there and just getting plugged into NPR. My mom is a huge NPR fan, and so I picked that up from her, and I just really appreciate the radio mechanism of information. Democracy Now! Is another show that I like to listen to regularly as well, and so the opportunity to participate in the After Church Show was one that I could not take for granted, and I wanted to always put that as something that I really wanted. It's just something that I really wanted, and it's something that I wanted to focus in on, and I think it's really a part of my self-care at this point. It's something that I really look to do in order to relieve stress at this point, and really just get some of my ideas off my chest.
It can definitely be that, because what ultimately happened, radio is often something people want to do, but it allows you to talk and communicate in a way that your normal life doesn't allow.
Absolutely.
So it's normally one-on-one, and the ideas are more in depth.
Yeah.
Versus in real life, you get snippets of conversations, you get to talk to people, but you're not in a rush in that moment, and you get to sit down and actually talk to people.
Yeah.
Radio is definitely a platform, specifically talk radio. Is definitely because you find out things and you get to actually live out the entire conversation or most of the conversation within that talk time. Is that something that you see down the road in terms of?
Absolutely. I definitely see it as something that I would love to pursue full time. Actually, I just even how creativity and radio come into combination with each other.
Right.
I'm familiar with this show called Snap Judgment that is up in New York City. And it's just really a great show that expresses storytelling in a way that is so just impactful. It's very impactful and very thought-provoking. And so I definitely think that radio in the future is something that I would definitely investigate as a full-time opportunity. We're even looking with the After Church show for opportunities to just invest in it more heavily. So because it's just something, it's something that you don't hear every day, especially on faith-based platforms and radio. You usually you either got your gospel station or your not so gospel station. You know what I mean? And there's never any in between where you just get to talk about real issues with this type of. This is how I choose to live. Yeah, from this perspective, and it's okay if. You don't choose to subscribe to that perspective. I would like to believe that we are very progressive and very open just to communicating with one another as human beings. And I appreciate that in a show, and I appreciate that in content.
And it often helps to get outside of the studio, and it gives you a fresher perspective. You'll always want to come back to the source.
Yeah.
And to the platform of actually being in the studio, but taking a conversation and taking it in a different direction in terms of a live audience or just a different environment. You'll get out of it things that you don't see sitting down at the table and talking to each other or talking to a guest one-on-one. That has helped me a little bit because I stayed stuck for the first couple of years behind the table, and once I got out, it became different, and I've realized the engagement aspect of it.
Yeah.
So I can take that message and talk to people face to face and in their face versus through the camera lens.
Right.
Your expertise in social work, did you ever want to go the other side of that?
Well, when I was at Salisbury University, I came in as an undecided major. So I really didn't know what I wanted. I knew it wasn't science, it wasn't math. I was like, what is not that? And I saw social work, and I started it, and it wasn't bad. You know what I mean? So I stuck through it, and I stuck through it enough to understand that people are valuable. And I want to work with people for a very long time. And so I think the other side of social work can sometimes mean a lot of different things. Social work deals with every aspect of life. And so that can look like being in a hospital, doing case management work and doing a lot of different things. And I know that one of my first realizations about this city is that it can be a very frustrated city. It has experienced a lot of just miscommunication that has led to mistrust and a lot of different things like that. And so
I don't mean to cut you off. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back here on the Artist Exchange Radio Show with Joe Tynes. When we come back, we got a special interview for the second hour, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Be Exposed Radio. a family affair if you want to look at it that way.
It is. I totally agree, and I believe I believe that this wisdom on the wall is going to be a movement, and that's what I believe we are doing. Is we're creating a movement where people essentially, even after we've presented in these workshops, then they'll be inspired to sort of document some of the things that they've gone through and empower somebody else. So it'll be like a chain effect. So they'll see that, you know, we were just 3 women who have gone through various things and experiences in our lives, and we just took the opportunity to sit down, put it in a book, and then it'll be a movement, and then other women will be inspired to do the same thing. Let me tell you, we are better together. We are so much better together, family. I'm telling you, when we band together, put our resources and our experiences together, we can create a movement, and that's what it's about, inspiring people to do more than what they may currently see of their own lives, that they can do so much more. So yeah,
you are exactly right.
Be Inspired Radio Show. Tune in every Wednesday from 7 to 9 p.m.
Join the club that gives you stuff.
Hey, thanks!
Radio Loyalty.
Here's how it works.
Just click on the Radio Loyalty banner right now and sign up. Then, you keep on listening like you already do. But now you earn points. Those points add up, and you can trade them in for stuff in the Radio Loyalty store. Earn more points by sharing your station with friends on Facebook and Twitter, answering surveys, and by using the apps in the New Players App Store. Pretty simple, right?
Radio Loyalty.
Click that banner to join now.
Hi, I'm LeVar Burton, and I'm proud to be a book person. How do I choose a book? Sometimes it's the cover, sometimes it's the title. I guess I'm pretty visual. If a book's really impressing me and the writing is really good, I will peek and see what the last paragraph is, because the endings of books should rock you. I am a book person, and if you're a book person too, read to a child and spark a lifetime of ambition. Join me at bookpeopleunite.org, because reading is fundamental. A public service announcement brought to you by Reading is Fundamental, Library of Congress, and the Ad Council. Hi, I'm LeVar Burton, and I'm proud to be a book person. How do I choose a book? Sometimes it's the cover, sometimes it's the title. I guess I'm pretty visual. If a book's really impressing me and the writing is really good, I will peek and see what the last paragraph is, because the endings of books should rock you. I am a book person, and if you're a book person too, read to a child and spark a lifetime of ambition. Join me at bookpeopleunite.org, because reading is fundamental. A public service announcement brought to you by Reading is Fundamental, Library of Congress, and the Ad Council.
Green light. Hey girl, school zone. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza?
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Choose to invest in the knowledge of my race or the importance of justice or what that means even as a Christian, let alone a student. Wow. And so I didn't take the time to do so.
So we're back here live on the Artist Exchange Radio Show. I'm your host, Nate. We got Mr. Joe Tynes in the building, just giving us a little insight on who he is and what he does. And we learned that he's a curator.
Absolutely.
Curator for ideas, social justice. Are there specific issues that you want to deal with creatively or?
Absolutely. I'm very big on Black liberation. I believe that this the current area in terms of like where we stand as a democracy, even in capitalism, and the historical disinvestment that has been experienced not only in Baltimore City but amongst our people is criminal. I believe in reparations. I believe in very aggressive reinvestment into Black communities with white dollars. Right. And what that also looks like is ensuring that Black folks invest in themselves, but not at all with that pull yourself up by your bootstraps type of mentality. I believe that we as a people were given boots about 300 years late, and then they didn't come with straps. So how can we pull ourselves up by?
And they weren't necessarily boots.
Yeah, they was moccasins. Right. If that we kind of had to scrap
materials, some of the materials to make the shoe, but
and strategically really left out the materials that would make it a shoe anyway. Right. You know what I mean? And
the soul.
Yeah, it had no soul. How? Tell me how. You want me to pull myself up by my bootstraps, but I don't have a bottom.
Right.
You know what I mean? So when I pull them up, I go straight through.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So it's just like,
I can't tie them up and secure even the top part.
Nah. And so it's just like, it's like that kind of illustration fuels my passion.
So do you connect the individual frustration that you see in the faces and the attitudes and the behavior and even the leadership in this community to those things?
Absolutely.
And its trust is a really thick thread that runs through all of that.
Absolutely. So what I do though is I'm able to see
the game that we've learned to play, this chess game.
So I'm able to see, like, for example, I understand that this is what fuels my underlying passion for social justice. And I also understand that there are specific people in these communities who also attempt to ally themselves with my heart and with the black community, that at the end of the day has not had to experience any of the strategic disinvestment that we've had to deal with.
You're just a line item on a grant.
Absolutely. And so what I choose to do in the face of that is to attempt to use the resources of those people so that it can directly funnel towards the advancement of my people.
Now, I would say, are you mindful of how us looks at that? Because then you become the man wearing the Make America Great Hat again. Did I say it right?
Well,
Make America Great Hat.
I understand what you're saying, right? The way I see that, though, is that I will not be in the pocket of that institution or the person who says, okay, you just do this, or you just fill out this grant and we'll give you some money and run along now. I don't like to play those games.
But you understand that that's the perception in anybody that you're trying to help with those resources.
And that's where I have to leverage my own, I have to acknowledge my own privilege, because at the end of the day, the people that I'm helping it's an assumption, of course, but they may not have experienced the same level of resources that I have had access to. And so that's a privilege that I choose. I make the choice to acknowledge and face every day, so that in the face of that assumption that's made on my behalf of how I serve my community, I'm able to humble myself and say, well, let me take a step back and listen, and let me ask you how I can be of service to you, instead of assuming.
Now, are you also seeing individuals that were in your position that are still there that are doing the exact opposite? Are you able to see that?
So go a little bit deeper for me.
So the individuals that are in your position that may have started with your same mission and purpose, that are now taking the bribe and absorbing and hoarding the resources and allocating it to a select few, do you see that type of corruption? Are you able to see that?
I'm able to perceive it. I don't see it in my circle right now, because people that I run with now is foolproof, if I could be honest. I feel that
I wasn't trying to get exclusive.
Yeah, no,
I'm saying,
but I'm able to acknowledge what that can look like. I'm able to acknowledge, like, so if we talking politics, for example, like the establishment, bureaucratic, Baltimore City, amalgam, like that enigma, like I'm able to see that and acknowledge that for what it is. And I think there's a way to develop a strategy to make sure that the people with insincere motives are called out for what those are. If I see mess, I'm gonna call it like a straight shooter, because I worked in the city the past 2 years just doing just grunt work, outreach, making sure dads had a connection to their children and a good relationships with their baby moms, making sure parents who were raising children in common together, whether it be same-sex couples or heterosexual couples, making sure that they had the tools to be able to parent their children effectively while still having consistent and good relationships with themselves. And so I say all that to say, I've been able to see where the needs are, and I'm able to communicate to those who are in positions of power of where those needs are based on just my strategy to just say, look, man, how can I be a part of your story if you would allow me to be that? But it's all about the invitation on the other party side. If they don't invite me into their process, then I'm not going to assume that it's my right to be there. And so like that's kind of how I look at the human services field. At the end of the day, we human, and I'm not providing a service. If anything, other humans get to provide a service to me, and I get to be a part of their lives, and it's just a matter of a transaction at that point of how can I effectively storytell, but how can I empower somebody else to do their own storytelling and building their own testimonies and building empowerment. I don't want to go into communities and change them. I want our people to have the access to resources to be able to change and challenge, themselves and build systems and build community from there. And also just to ensure that the communities and anchor institutions in these communities see these neighborhoods for the expertise that it really truly is. There are experts, there are engineers, there are social workers, there are doctors, there are healers in these communities, but anchor institutions will look at it and say, well, here's this resource fair, come walk down a line and stamp your passport and we'll give you a scooter for Christmas. You know what I mean? And it's just like, don't play me, son. Like don't play my people like they not geniuses. You understand what I'm saying?
And it's the hardship in it is, I don't think that us in these communities are stupid or dumb, but we're taking it saying, okay, this is going to help me. Okay, let me take part in this. Oh, I get a free coat or a free XYZ out of this. It's going to help me. And then you get slapped on the wrist, or you realize nobody's going to come back to save you.
Right.
And that's the problem that I'm having with a lot of these social justice organizations, because I see it as more of a, and it's not, I don't want to say it and be disrespectful to you or anybody else in this field, but I see it as resume building and not really doing what it is that you're supposed to be, a civil servant. Not that you're working for the government, but you then attach yourself to that same mission that civil servants have, and that you are receiving money and monies from communities and from the government and from private donors for the benefit of helping communities. Now, some of those people giving you the money want you to do certain things for them or need certain outcomes, so they're really structuring these grants and these money channels to benefit their own selfish needs. But I really find problem in when I see a lot of the people that look like us doing things to build their resume. Now, that's still a job that you have. You went to school and learned these things. I'm quite sure you got a couple school loans out there. But so you have to balance, I still have to make a living off of this versus I'm in a field that is directly connected to the same issue we're having with teachers. Don't be a teacher for a paycheck. Absolutely. Be a teacher because you love teaching.
Absolutely.
And you have to follow your passion.
Absolutely.
And the profit, be mindful and be aware. I don't want you to just be doing things for nothing, but be aware of that. Set that up. Make sure that you're getting what you need in life. But don't do things for the sole purpose. And I think a lot of the social justice organizations, and calling them out in this platform, I see more resume building and more self-promotion than I see, what are you doing with the money that I just gave you for a crowdfunder? So that's where my, I have to say, pause for a second.
And that's accurate. That's so accurate. And the reason why it's accurate because of what you said. It's all about awareness. If the person who is doing it just for a check, that has to start somewhere. And so before you get to that place, before I got to that place, I'm not even going to philosophize. My last position that I was in, I could feel the rigmarole of having to do something in order to reach a certain number at a certain time. And we talking like we're not talking about people. We're not talking about, you know what I mean, Nancy X, who just lost a job and relocated from wherever to here so that she could just get a job. You know what I mean? We talking about numbers. Did they complete this amount of sessions in this amount of time? You know what I mean? It's just like
quotas.
Like, hold on. Like, we talking about somebody's life.
And see, that's what we was talking about during the break. When you're on the other sides of social justice and social work, where you have these people that are being bombarded with numbers.
Right.
So the quality of their work is
it wanes.
You got people, children being killed or being abused, or and you can't tend to everything if you're dealing with dollars and cents, and everything can't be about the bottom line.
Right.
It can't be. Because it's not social justice. That's a corporation at that point.
Absolutely.
So it's not a nonprofit.
It's not.
Give me the taxes.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
That's
how I'm learning to see it in working with more nonprofits.
Yeah.
You have to be focused on the community that you're entrusted to reach.
Absolutely.
Or you're a fraud. You're actually committing
fraud, like literal fraud.
Right,
like, give me them taxes, like you said. You know what I mean?
Or that profit status, nonprofit status. So that's my distrust. Is one, we live in a city that historically has used people of color as guinea pigs. That's the basis of our history from day one.
Yeah.
From us being brought here to us just being used as surgical lab rats.
Yeah.
So we have a history in this specific city of being used that way. So when these social justice organizations arise, and they're often started by people who don't look like us, that have an idea or hear your idea and gives them seed money to be able to start it, and they're pushing people that look like us out there on the front lines to do dirty work with the guise of, we're going to make you healthier. We're going to make sure you have a safe place to live. We're going to make sure that you don't get moved all the way out Harford County where you have no access to anything. But so those are the types of things that I look at when I think of social justice, and the things that I kind of question. So those are, if I can ask you anything, I'm quite sure you're mindful of those things, but how do you still practice what it is that you have a passion for, and still check yourself constantly, make sure you're not going over the lines? But how do you kind of deal with the public that have those types of trust issues in general? Not even specifically to what you're helping them for, but just trust issues in anybody who says I'm a social justice entrepreneur.
At the end of the day, I think it comes to building rapport, and building rapport for me is laughter, it's eating where people eat, and it's drinking where people drink. You know what I mean?
And talking to them
and talking not at them. I don't talk to people in this city or in this community only when I want something. I talk.
Can you say that again?
I don't talk. I don't talk to people in this city just when I want something.
When you got tickets to sell,
when I got
to push. Okay.
that's not my angle. I talk to people because at the end of the day, their struggles aren't my struggles, and for me to say I understand your struggles is a lie, because
I'm not you.
I'm not you. And so I learned that very early on. I was in a community association meeting, and I was attempting to bring order to the meeting because we had an agenda, and the community members only got so far as to the police report because they were so frustrated with the lack of police presence in their neighborhood. And I got frustrated, and I told my manager that the meeting didn't go as planned. And then I got convicted, because at the end of every day, I walk home. And not only do I walk home where on Lexington, on 700 to 751 Lexington, there's a police officer always there, thanks to the School of Social Work. And so who am I to get frustrated that a meeting doesn't go as planned because somebody is concerned? You know what I mean? And so it's like, it was at that point that I said, I am never going to do that again.
So you heard the real need. So, and I think a lot of nonprofits are having this issue of having wraparound services before you can even get to the core of what they're built for.
Absolutely.
But we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back here on the Artist Exchange Radio Show, only on BeExposedRadio.com. Joe Tynes, man on a mission.
So, Jacqueline. Yes, Mom? I wanted to talk to you about something, and... Oh, wait. Hold on. I just got a text. Oh, there's another one. Wow. Busy, busy me. So, anyway...
Oh, wait, Mom. I just got a message. My friends keep commenting on my comment. Oh, there's another one. So many comments on my comment.
Oh, I can't wait to watch TV tonight. Playoffs!
Hey, guys, check out my new video game. Pew, pew. Wait, Mom, what? Huh?
What? Hold
What'd you say? Wait a second, what?
This weekend, unplug. Take your family to the forest. There's nothing in the world like experiencing nature firsthand. Trees, paths, bluebirds, streams. Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. To find the forest nearest you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
It's time for a flashback.
Now, I'm not gonna say all Aries don't know, but
it's just the one you had. That was just
particular one, you know. But it's always something that you can.
Go ahead. Listen, can you recollect any signs that you might like?
October 15th or 16th. What is that? And Libras.
See, I've had some good Libras and I had one really bad Libra, but he was white, so he his back anyway. So I don't. Wait. Hold on. Wait a minute. Demonstrate. You got to demonstrate the back.
No. Ain't no way.
Not the day. How they bust? But show how they bust.
And then want to cry afterwards.
I mean, what the is the point of the tears? I mean, I can see you shaking, and shake it off real quick. But you crying? Out of here.
What was he crying for?
Cause baby, this pussy make that. You in? I got that good nasty bitch. The shame. Oh shit.
McLean's Couch every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Only on BeExposedRadio.com.
The Artist Exchange Radio Show every Friday 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Every Saturday 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Real artist, real talk, real live on BeExposedRadio.com. I was meeting with a friend yesterday, and I've gotten to the point where don't ask me a question because the truth is going to come out.
Exactly.
Just don't do it.
If you ain't looking for the truth, don't come to me.
Don't do it because I can't hold my tongue. And she wants to be this stylist, boutique, but you're not doing anything in that nature. And I can't take you seriously if you're not doing those things. And I understood why people didn't take me seriously because I found myself in somebody else's lane. I was good at what I was doing and what I wanted to be, but I wasn't doing it for me. So how can I ask you to take me seriously if I'm living in somebody else's shoes?
And nobody can do what you do. And I think that that's a big problem that people face now. Like, you see what somebody else is doing and you want to do that when that's not your lane.
That's not your lane.
That's not what you're supposed to be doing.
But it's popular. It's getting that person money. It's getting that person applause. Oh, I want applause. I want money. Let me stand over here behind them.
And then a lot of times people aren't honest with themselves either. Like, I was thinking earlier today, I've been woke for almost 2 days, so so you get honesty, and I was thinking, like,
The Artist Exchange.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
But I really have a tendency of not necessarily embracing what's not real because it's not any benefit to me because then I'll be a part of that not real space. Welcome back to the Artist Exchange Radio Show here live on BeExposedRadio.com. Real quick, we got Joe Tynes in the building. But the lovely Miss Adina Howard, which you'll get to see our interview shortly, she's having a Nasty giveaway. Her new single, Nasty. She has 4 tracks on here, Nasty, a couple different versions of it, and Blasphemy off her new album, Resurrection. And we have an awesome t-shirt. So we'll be giving this away on the Artist Exchange Radio Show. So definitely stay tuned, stay locked in for that giveaway, and we'll be posting that on our website. So back to Mr. Tynes because it's his time. But we were speaking more, and this is our last segment, so I'm gonna try to get a lot of information out of you real quick. But where do you see yourself in terms of turning around this Baltimore climate of distrust and corruption, and that's a lot to put on your shoulders?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm more than willing to answer though.
Right.
I'm a person who I'm honest. I have integrity, and I'm a friend of this city. I'm a friend of people. I'm a lover of people, and so my goal is to appreciate people for who they are, and just allow that to be a theme in my work, be a theme in my personal interactions. I plan on smiling as much as possible. I was in Oklahoma City last weekend, and they said, "Hey Joe, why are you smiling so hard?" I was like, "Man, I'm from Baltimore City. What you mean why I smile so hard?"
Hanover,
Hanover, man. I mean Baltimore City. What you mean? We smile out here, and so it's just like it's fun.
Live or air.
Come on, yo.
Because I'm gonna play that. I'm gonna put that on the loop because that's representing the city definitely. But are you now? I'm gonna say this to you.
Come on.
And I want an honest answer.
Let's go.
Are we in preparation? I say we because I've already included myself on the team.
Yeah.
To being like the next mayor, the next city council.
Nah.
I don't. Something about that. I asked you a question, but I really had to answer.
Yeah.
So I don't.
So if the opportunity presented itself, I would definitely investigate it. But that's not in my line.
That was such a political response.
Yeah, no, I mean it was, but it's like I don't get asked that a lot. I don't get asked that a lot. I know people assume it, but I'm just a friend.
Not in. I just see it because I know Joshua Harris, and I watched him grow.
Yeah.
In his candidacy right before, and I'm not saying it's a ploy or it's a game, but I've watched him work in a way that is different from what you're used to seeing.
Yeah.
Because normally a handshake and a smile means I'm gonna call on you soon.
Yeah.
But more so really asking the question like, what do you need? Where are you at? And really honestly wanting to know. And not for any particular reason like I'm keeping this, but I really want to make change and I'm trying to figure out and kind of mold myself in that.
Yeah.
So that's what I see.
I appreciate
so
that.
I just, maybe I just opened the door or it's something you already been thinking about.
Possibly. It's something that I don't think about at all. What's right in front of me is creating a culture at Impact Hub Baltimore that is consistent with my heart for people and making sure that everybody who walks in those doors feels at home.
I should have waited till you came on here another time.
Nah, man, no, not at all, not at all. It's something that I'm not interested at this point because I just moved into the city as a community organizer. I live in Northeast Baltimore, and as a community organizer, I understand that there's certain things that come with time, and I know that nobody wants to hear from a political figurehead that recently moved into the community because that's not real. Like, what have you experienced? And so
I say don't underestimate people. They voted Trump in. So I'm saying never underestimate and I say that not to say about racism, but don't ever underestimate the needs of people.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what a fresh air people get when you're around. I notice how people gravitate towards you, and I notice that it's something that we don't get because we normally keep politicians and social justice organization leaders like this at arm's length because what do you want? Why do you only call me when it's election time or when you need funding or when you have to fill a quota on a line item of a grant?
Right.
Like, so you keep people at bay for a reason, and those type of people need to, people weren't afraid to approach Trump.
Yeah.
But they did it, and that's honestly how he did it. I don't see the corruption. It's there, but I don't see it. So last but not least, how can people contact you or approach you or find you?
If you see me anywhere in Baltimore City, just say what's up. I'm very approachable. In terms of social media, I do have an Instagram. It's Hanover.Jose.
That's HANOVER.JOSE, Hanover Jose. And you can find me at Impact Hub. I'm there every Monday through Friday from about 9 a.m. to around 5. Come on in. I'll give you a tour. And you family. Real talk. We doing something major off of North Avenue, and it's going to be right if I'm involved.
So that was Joe Tynes. We're going to go to a quick commercial break. We'll be back with a special interview. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. The game that we've learned to play, this chess game, and life is not a chess game. Life is real, bones, flesh, blood, decisions.
Make sure you check out the Artist Exchange Show every Monday and Friday at 2 p.m. only on BeExposedRadio.com.
My name is Ruth Rusey. I'm a retired teacher. I'm 91 years old, and this is how I live united. I say retired, but not really. Once a week, I read books to children as part of United Way's education program. Reading to a child creates links between language and literacy. It creates a bond between grown-up and child. And believe it or not, it prepares them for a better academic future. Oh, we read about frogs and flies and pigs with wings, all sorts of juicy stuff. It's a joy to watch all those little faces. I figure I have the time and they have the need. And I've always believed that if we're not here to help each other, then what are we here for really? My name is Ruth Rusey. I help kids prepare to succeed in school. So I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
My name is Meera Batra. I have been in this country 32 years, and this is how I live united. America has always been the land of promise, and in my community, many families have come for a better life. Coming from another culture myself, I know that
you are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
When the lights go off, she's nasty, I tell ya. Now she's nasty, I tell ya. Shorty like a better with the lights off. She know what to do when the lights go off. She's nasty, I tell ya. She's nasty, I tell ya. You can make it nasty till the day, until the dawn. Make it nasty. You can make it nasty through the night till the early morning. Make it nasty, baby, make it nasty. Take you to the crib, baby, what you need. Just like me, I need a nasty brother that can satisfy me, just for me. Oh yeah, cause I know what to do to make it nasty. I know what to say to make it nasty. If you're ready, boy, I'm down to make it nasty. But I only make it nasty for daddy. I finally got some time, yeah, to grind, yeah. Told my guys on the side, yeah, goodbye, yeah. You been all up on my mind, yeah, When you finally hit my line, yeah, you can make it nasty. If you're that kind of man, I'm that kind of girl. I got a nasty secret everybody's saying, cause we don't give a damn about that. She like a better with the lights off. She know what to do when the lights go off. She's nasty, I tell ya. Now she's nasty, I tell ya. Shorty like a better with the lights off. She know what to do when the lights go off. She's nasty, I tell ya. She's nasty, I tell ya. For me, baby, tonight I'll lay it all on the line. So I say, don't make me wait in my t-shirt and my panties. My nasty grind is waiting tonight. Make it nasty, make it nasty. I need a freak in the morning, a freak in the evening. just like me. I need a nasty brother that can satisfy me, just for me. If you're that kind of man, cause I'm that kind of girl. I got a nasty secret everybody's saying, cause we don't give a damn about a thing. Show you like a better with the lights on. She know what to do when the lights go off. She's nasty, I tell ya. She's nasty, I tell ya. Show you like a better with the lights on. She know what to do when the lights go off. She's nasty, I tell ya. She's nasty.
Welcome to the Artist Exchange Radio Show here live only on BigExposedRadio.com. I'm your host, Nate Couser. I have a special guest host today, Ms. Pepper, who's, I know I put our government on there, but I told her that's what they write on the checks. And we have a special guest today, my 90s fave, Miss Adina Howard. Hi. Can you say hello to people? That's the plan over there. So, first off the bat, who are you today?
Who am I today?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, I'm a seasoned woman. As they say, I'm a grown-ass woman. I am someone who has learned from her journey. I am someone who it's interesting because I love people, but I'm not a fan of people much.
Right.
But like,
Team introvert.
I am,
yes.
all day, every day. I am someone who's experienced life for the most part. You know, all of our journeys are different, but I've experienced life and along my path and just really appreciating who I am and what I've become and working on always becoming a better version of myself. So that's who I am, a better version of me. Said all that to say that.
And she means it's 40 and over is doing it, y'all.
Hello, somebody.
Hello.
So in transitioning from the 90s, Adina Howard, the legend of Freak Like Me and songs like that, T-shirt and panties, where do you want to take music in terms of your brand and your image and just what you want to say now? Because you write all your own music. So where's that pen going today?
The pen is going more towards self-awareness, growth, self-love, and self-respect. It's more about really taking ownership of who you are, who you've become, who you desire to be, who you are. Because I find that a lot of people want to point fingers and place blame on where they are or where they aren't. And one of the things that people have to understand is you are the common denominator. So you can't place blame and you can't point fingers when it's all said and done. You were the one who made the decision.
Right.
Somebody could have coerced you, somebody could have convinced you, somebody could have done whatever, but when it's all said and done, you made the decision. And taking ownership of that. And that's really where I'm at right now with my music, is about being naked and exposing myself and saying, okay, this is who I am, this is where I am, this is what I'm about. And you can love it or not. It doesn't make a bit of difference to me. But I am who I am because of who I am and whose I am.
Right.
You know, and I have to be mindful of that. And another thing too, I have to be mindful of when I'm writing is to pay attention to people who will be listening to my music. And I think that's very important, because as an artist, now that I'm a seasoned woman, I recognize I'm a seasoned woman. Hello, somebody. I received that too. My grandmother's more vintage than I am, though. I'm just seasoned for right now. But I hope to be vintage one day.
Exactly.
It's, as an artist, we have to take responsibility of how people perceive us. And one of the things that we have to understand too
and that's different from how they think about us.
Yes, right. Exactly. Because one of the things that I learned is your perception is your truth, even though it may be a lie.
Right.
You know, and so I'm going to shake the narrative, and I'm going to shift your perspective and say that this is what it is and this is who I am. And again, being responsible as an artist, because a lot of us, and I'm guilty of, when I was younger, of not really focusing on how people are going to perceive me. And I didn't care then, and I still don't care now, but people are very much followers, and it shows with social media, with having followers, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and all of that stuff. People are followers. So, and if you pay attention, there are less leaders than there are followers. And so, and because I recognize that, I have to be a responsible leader.
Right.
Because when you pay attention to certain people that are out there, they're going hard in the paint now. And they're listening to music in a way where it's becoming their reality. You know, even though that's somebody else's story, all of a sudden they've adopted the narrative and now that's their story.
Right.
And now they're going to swing on a pole, or now they're going on a corner and selling dope, or now they're popping pills and they're drinking this, that, and the third. And it's like, okay, we as an artist, or as artists, we have to be very careful what we do and how we do it, because unbeknownst to us, we tend to be responsible for a lot of people. We do.
Unbeknownst to you.
Right. I am in a pulpit, and my quote-unquote followers are my congregation.
Right.
So I have to be mindful of that.
So the phone lines are open. You give us a call at 410-702-5657.
Say that again, because that was fast.
Talking seconds. 410-702-5657. So that transitioned me into the next question. So I don't think time has really changed that much. I think what is happening now is, with freak like me, people were doing that behind closed doors.
Oh yeah.
Now this is the sex tape generation. So things are just out there. So what you put out there is more. They're doing it now on Instagram and Facebook and on their platforms versus, you know, like me, we was listening to it, you know.
Right, we were on the low.
Right.
Because we knew that if we weren't on the low, mama and or daddy and or grandma or someone in the family is going to tap that ass. Like, what you listening to? What you doing? What's that? What you know about that? And he's like, you know. And so we had to, but nowadays they just.
So is that part of your evolution, understanding that not only are people listening, because we've been listening,
right?
But it's now people are actually imitating it in their real life, their everyday life, and they're carrying that mantra as if it's this who they are now, and it's really not. We see that with sexuality, we see that with money and flashiness, and people are really living out loud in ways that aren't real. And it's all for show, all for the gram, all for likes, so on and so forth. I think we have a phone call.
Do we have a phone call? Who wants to?
How you doing? You want to say hello to Miss Adina Howard?
How are you?
She's listening.
I'm blessed. I won't complain. How are you? Say that again, babe. Oh, what? That's what's up. I gotta go home in a few days, because I live in Arizona. Awesome. Thank you. Absolutely. Well, I'm originally from Grand Rapids, Michigan, but I was raised half my life in Arizona. I graduated from high school in Mesa. Absolutely. Absolutely. Definitely not opposed to that. I think that the knowledge and wisdom I've been blessed to collect over the decades will definitely afford me to be able to assist in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Absolutely. Resurrection, the new project that's out, what inspired me to create another project was the fans. They had been asking over and over again to do some new music, and it was one of those things, it was a call that I had to answer. And one of the things that I noticed that the more and more I tried to not do it, I got pulled back into the music industry because unbeknownst to me, the platform that I was blessed with serves a purpose. And I realized that I needed to do my job because I'm here on a mission. And when the Creator says move, you move. And so I was like, okay, I got to go ahead and make this happen. I know, right? Yes. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And if it is written, I will see you in this life.
Thank you, brother, for calling.
Blessings.
Thank you. How did that make you feel knowing that what you're doing right now is still being received the same way when 94, 95?
Grateful, truly grateful, because not everyone has the privilege of having longevity. Not everyone has the privilege of being thought so highly of. So I'm humbled and I'm honored by that.
Now, during the break, we were talking a little bit about the climate that we're in right now. I don't want to just label it strictly as the Me Too movement, but being the artist that you've been, how do you continue to create in this climate and not feel pressured to dumb down your liberation or your sexuality for fear that someone's going to say, well, see, she's asking for it?
I take ownership of me. I'm very aware of my surroundings. I am an individual who, I'm all about being appropriate when I'm supposed to be appropriate. Because there's a time and place for everything, you know what I mean? And that's how I was raised. There's a time and place for everything. And I think that this era that we're in right now, they're lacking understanding when it comes to their actions. Right. I think that because of this, of what is being exposed, that technology has come to a place where youth are exposed to so much. There aren't any filters. Right. And because there aren't any filters, and because no one's filtering for them, they've been overexposed, inundated with information. And one of the things that people have to understand is a young person's mind is still developing. Yes. And they're still curious. Because once you get out, think about it. You're in that, more often than not, you're raised in a household and you're sheltered to a certain degree. You're sheltered from, certain influences. And
blinded.
Exactly. And you have people telling you this is what it is and this is how it should be, and you're being raised. So when you get outside of the confined cage, which is your home, and you're finally out in the world, and now all of a sudden you're inundated with everything that you had a filter back home, and now you're on your own, so to speak, whether it's going to school or whatever the case may be. But the people who are telling you are no longer present, and you're out in the world and you're being exposed to everything, and there's no filter, and you're young and you're curious and you're dumb. You're gonna go out there, because we've all been young and dumb.
Yes.
So we go out into this world. Right, we go out into the world and we want to experience, and we want to, we're curious, and we start doing things, and then all of a sudden you have all of this stuff on social media where you see more often than not certain behavior. And if you're in that generation and you're looking at your people, the people that you grew up with or in your age bracket, and you're saying, oh, they're showing ass, and they're doing this cleavage thing, or I need to do that too.
Right.
So they become of the environment. And it's just like, okay, you have to be mindful of taking on an image or an energy that can bring a situation to you that may not be good.
Sorry to cut you off. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with the phenomenal Adina Howard. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here on the Artist Exchange Radio Show, only on BigExposedRadio.com.
Yeah.
Business owners, need more customers? Offer fantasy sports contests and generate more sales. Restaurants, bars, hotels, auto dealerships, real estate offices. Whatever your business, fantasy sports contests can help you increase your sales and bring you more loyal customers. Visit Fanify.com or call 888-55-SPORT. Our software lets you customize contests fast and easy for your brand. That's right. Visit Fanify.com or call 888-55-SPORT. That's 888-55-SPORT or visit Fanify.com.
It is with great pleasure that I welcome you to today's graduation ceremony. Students, when you hear the reason or reasons for your absences throughout the years, please exit the auditorium without your high school diploma. Once you've exited, remove your cap and gown and proceed into the unknown. Too tired. Family trip. Part-time job. Helping around the house. Sick day. Starting the holidays early. Just because.
Starting in the 6th grade, students who miss 18 days or more of school in a year for any reason will fall behind and risk not graduating high school. How many days of school has your child missed this year? Absences add up. Keep track at boostattendance.org today. Brought to you by the U.S. Army and the Ad Council.
Be Exposed Radio.
Well, if you made them, take care of them.
Yeah, that's the real. Right. That's the real deal.
It's period.
Right. And all that old money shouldn't go toward this. Money should go to if the child is with one of the parents 24/7, 7 days a week. You don't even come get your child every day. You come get your child once a month maybe, or once every 3 months.
Right.
You cannot dictate where that money goes, especially if the child ain't calling you about nothing. Now, if the child calling you every week, then you can question about where the child support is going. But if every time you pick up the child, they look nice, they ain't complaining about nothing, why are you worrying about where the money go at?
It is what it is. Radio show.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Green light. Hey girl, school zone. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah, street. Pizza sounds good. Ballin Street? Girlin Street!
It's hard to concentrate on two things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Whoa. The moment my son saw a redwood tree.
It's huge!
Is the moment I knew that for him,
You can't even see the top of that thing!
even the sky has no limit.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you and discover cool things to do when you go. Your moment is out there. Find it at discovertheforest.org.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
The Artist Exchange Radio Show every Friday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Every Saturday, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Real artist, real talk, real live on BeExposedRadio.com.
I was meeting with a friend yesterday, and I've gotten to the point where don't ask me a question because the truth is going to come out.
Exactly.
Just don't do it.
If you ain't looking for the truth, don't come to me.
Don't do it because I can't hold my tongue. And she wants to be this stylist, boutique, but you're not doing anything in that nature, and I can't take you seriously if you're not doing those things. And I understood why people didn't take me seriously because I found myself in somebody else's lane. I was good at what I was doing and what I wanted to be, but I wasn't doing it for me. So how can I ask you to take me seriously if I'm living in somebody else's shoes?
And nobody can do what you do, and I think that that's a big problem that people face now, like you see what somebody else is doing and you want to do that when that's not your lane.
That's not your lane.
That's not what you're supposed to be doing.
But it's popular, it's getting that person money, it's getting that person applause. Ooh, I want applause.
Right.
I want money. Let me stand over here behind them.
And then a lot of times people aren't honest with themselves either. Like I was thinking earlier today, I've been woke for almost 2 days, so so you get honesty, yes. And I was thinking, like, you know,
The Artist Exchange Radio Show.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back to the Artist Exchange Radio Show here live only on BeExposedRadio.com. In the building, I got my special guest co-host today, Pebbles, and the phenomenal, I'm gonna just say, Adina Howard. I think I got slapped in the mouth for the first and last time because my mother let me listen to the music because she knew who I was, but my grandmother didn't play that, and I just turned it up one night too loud, and she didn't like it. But I took that slap because I like the music. Yes, and that's one of the things that I say. It's 3 songs that you have to listen to if it's the summertime. And it's Montel Williams, This Is How We Do It, right. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Summertime, and Adina Howard.
Absolutely.
Freak Like Me. Like,
yes,
those
indeed.
Are the 3. If you have not listened to
one is the
all 3 of
club,
them, you
2
have not had a
the
good
club.
summer.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
I feel you. I respect it. I respect it.
So in the break, I asked you, have you ever fit into the industry?
I don't think so.
Was that purposely, or it just?
I've just never. I don't think I've ever fit in. Period. As a human being, I was bullied as a child, so I think that that kind of sets the tone of letting you know that you're kind of like the awkward one, the oddball out, the outcast. You know what I'm saying, the misfit, and so I think because of that, I recognize that no matter who I am, what I choose to do, what I choose to wear, or whatever it is, somebody's not going to like me.
Right.
Somebody's not going to accept me for who I am. And so it's just like, screw it, whatever.
You came out at a time where Clive had Whitney, and this one had Tony, and they had
somebody had Mariah, right?
So how did you kind of set yourself apart? Because you're a name. So how did you set yourself apart from those cookie cuttered, built images that they had at that time?
I just set out to be me. I don't know any other person to be. I can look at all of the artists that past and present, and I can sing their music and go into a zone when I'm listening to their music. But not ever in my life that I can recall did I want to be someone other than me. Because one of the things that I learned, and it could be my, my Christian upbringing, is that God didn't make any mistakes, and you are uniquely you. So why would you want to be anybody else? And so for me, it's like, okay, just do what you do and be proud of who you are in spite of. And I like not fitting in, because it makes me stand out.
That's what I was going to say too. For you to put on that gown and stand in front of the mic?
I probably would now.
But back then, no.
Back then, no.
No, I feel like, back in the day when you were coming out and you did A Freak Like Me, I feel like that set the tone for what people would not dare do, and that's what made you different. And that's what I appreciated about it, because I felt like every time I saw something, I'm like, oh, well, she about to show y'all what she really looked like and how she really going to do things. Because a lot of people were still like closed in. They wouldn't, they were like afraid to basically show that they have that sex appeal, and things of that nature. It was like, okay, I have like just basically a certain persona that I want to keep. And that, like with a Me Too thing, nobody wanted to do what Adina did. And that's what really made you different. And it wasn't bad. It was just the fact that nobody was as, like they didn't want to be the boss and create their own lane in that situation, because they were afraid of being judged, I think.
Well, keep in mind, we come from an era where we were our environment was a whole heck of a lot more conservative.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying? And we were not exposed to the outside world the way that the world is exposed to the world now.
Right.
Exactly. So we were in a space where you just didn't, good girls didn't do. Church women didn't do. Only hussies do this, and only prostitutes do that, and only pimps do this, and only and
video vixen at the time.
And so because the way that we grew up, it was like, oh, we don't do now. That's not what a good, that's not what a good Christian woman should do, and that's not what a such and such should do. And so we were like, okay, we want to live up to that standard. And like I said, I was raised Christian, Baptist and Pentecostal, and so the foundation.
Long stories, way back.
Right. So, but what was very interesting about that is being told what I was told as a child growing up in the church. There was always something in my mind that was like, I don't want to do this. Don't really fit with me. I mean, I get it. But at the same time, it's like, I'm growing into something or someone that is going to buck that system or that belief, that's in place. And it was just like, okay, just do it. You have to be happy in life, and you cannot go outside of yourself to find happiness. And for me, it was living my life the way that I felt comfortable. Because again, it didn't matter what I did and how I did it. Somebody was not going to like me. I was called a hoe so many times, but I was like, I'm a happy hoe. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not about to do the slut walk, but I'm a happy hoe. Maybe if you got more, you would be happy too, and you wouldn't be focused on me.
And tell them mind the business that pays you. Hello, you better work on it.
Okay.
Seasoned at 40.
How would Adina Howard, the star, had survived or gotten through what we now know is like the social media? If it was more than just a couple tabloids or a couple paparazzi creepy men, like would you have been able to last this long?
I don't know.
Not to say you were doing things you weren't supposed to be doing, but
you know what? I honestly can't speak on that because I don't know. But I will say this: I am so grateful that social media did not exist when I was doing me.
So I'm going to stop you on that. We got one more break, so I'm going to take a quick break. We'll be right back here on the Artist Exchange Radio Show, only on BeExposedRadio.com. Don't go anywhere. Adina Howard, y'all.
Join the Just a Bit Outside crew every Monday, 8 to 10 p.m. on BeExposedRadio.com.
You want to start off?
We're rewarding you for something you already do, listening to us. It's Radio Loyalty, and it's an easy way for you to get free stuff. All you do is sign up. Go ahead and click the banner now. You'll earn points as you listen. Points you can trade in for great products and services in the Radio Loyalty store. You can earn even more points when you share your favorite station with friends on Facebook and Twitter. Radio Loyalty. It's free to sign up, so click the banner to join now.
Hi, I'm LeVar Burton, and I'm proud to be a book person. How do I choose a book? Sometimes it's the cover, sometimes it's the title. I guess I'm pretty visual. If a book's really impressing me and the writing is really good, I will peek and see what the last paragraph is, because the endings of books should rock you. I am a book person, and if you're a book person too, read to a child and spark a lifetime of ambition. Join me at bookpeopleunite.org, because reading is fundamental. A public service announcement brought to you by Reading is Fundamental, Library of Congress, and the Ad Council.
Green light. Hey girl, school zone. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah, street. Pizza sounds good. Ballin Street? Girlin Street!
It's hard to concentrate on two things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
So, Jacqueline.
Yes, Mom?
I wanted to talk to you about something and... Oh, wait. Hold on. I just got a text. Oh, there's another one. Wow. Busy me. So, anyway...
Oh, wait, Mom. I just got a message. My friends keep commenting on my comment. Oh, there's another one. So many comments on my comment.
Oh, I can't wait to watch TV tonight. Playoffs!
Hey, guys, check out my new video game. Pew, pew. Wait, Mom, what? Huh?
What? Hold
What'd you say? Wait a second, what?
This weekend, unplug. Take your family to the forest. There's nothing in the world like experiencing nature firsthand. Trees, paths, bluebirds, streams, getting closer to nature. can get you closer to your family. To find the forest nearest you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Join the Just a Bit Outside crew every Monday, 8 to 10 p.m. on BeExposedRadio.com.
You want to start off?
I think I'll get it out of the way on a who's not.
Okay, do it.
The Orioles.
Right.
They got swept by the Royals. They lost 4 in a row, and the last 5 games have all been decided by 1 run. The game before, or the last game that they lost before the Royals was the Nationals, and it was Weeders, of course, won with a home run.
Hit the home run.
Right.
They were going into that National Series. It seemed like they were doing so well, and they just crapped out. They got that game postponed, so who knows when they're going to replay that or play that game. That's my first not for the night.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and weigh in on my who's not, and I'm going to talk about the San Diego Padres.
The Padres. That's okay. You just took my answer.
They're in last place in the NL West. They've lost 8 of their last 10. Their run differential is a negative 65, which is just horrible. So when you have, well, let me just talk about run differential a little bit. It's kind of like the
how much you're winning or losing your games by, pretty much.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Yeah, if you get partners 50-50.
Welcome back to the Artist Exchange Radio Show here live only on BeExposedRadio.com. It's me, your host Nate, and Miss Pebbles, my guest co-host for today.
40 in season, over 40.
And the seasoned
as
Miss Adina Howard. So you're a mom?
No.
You don't have children?
I do not have children.
You want to borrow mine? They grown. All right.
No. I don't want anybody's kids.
She said no.
So you're in that arena of being seasoned. I didn't want to say it the wrong way because then she's going to walk out the road.
No.
But you're in that area of growing, and now you're back out. You have the project Resurrection. And I like the fact that you write your own music, because I think a lot of artists got into that system of letting other people. So we hear about a Whitney who owns nothing, but everybody else owns her voice and her likeness of her voice.
I think that one of the things that people have to understand about the industry is everybody's not a singer-songwriter. You know, there's some people that are just singers, and there's some people that are just writers. You know, there's a handful that are singer and songwriters.
Do you write for other people?
I do not.
Okay.
Would you consider writing for other people?
I would.
Yeah, that would be dope. Because you see what I'm saying? It would be like the substance of your music wouldn't be garbage. That's making money now.
Well, see, you have to understand something about the industry now. They're about the money. They're not about substance. They're about aesthetics. And
there's no more artist development.
No, there's not.
It isn't.
Out the window. I came in when there was artist development. It was such a beautiful thing because I was able to, you know, create something that was acceptable in the sense that, oh wow, okay, she's polished and she ain't just out here looking any old kind of way. You do. You learn how to conduct interviews. You know, you learn how to walk and talk. It's artist development is a beautiful thing, because one of the things that I've learned, and we just had a conversation not too long ago with a gentleman that I was doing radio with, Teddy Bear, and he was talking about, you know, when you're looking at Nicki Minaj and Cardi B and they're having these fights and this, that, and the third, I said, y'all have to understand something. And long story short, you can take a person out the hood, but you can't take the hood out of the person. How do you expect someone to be a certain way when they have not been taught to be that way?
So right off of Instagram and put them on the stage.
Right. So if they know nothing, how do you expect them to know anything? And so artist development was very important because it taught us something that we didn't know. I happened to be a little, ahead of the game because my mother put me in charm school when I was younger. So that was something that definitely came into play with, holding posture and being able to have conversation and look at people in the eyes and so on and so forth. So that definitely helped. And then artist development came along. And you have to understand is they're not about developing artists anymore. They're about developing a business plan and developing a bank account that is going to be able to sustain moving forward with the next
and
artist.
They have to come to the industry with those things.
Now, and nowadays, the industry wants you to be ready. They don't want to get you ready. They want you to be ready. Yeah. And then in their minds, we don't care how you come as long as it's going to create, a revenue stream for us.
Right. So talk to us about Resurrection and then the tour.
Yeah, then the tour.
Resurrection is an album. One of the things that people need to understand is 95 is gone. You know what I'm saying? I'm not 21 anymore. And well, it's the resurgence of but I'm not 21 anymore. I'm 44, and so Resurrection is about rising from the ashes of my past success and being able to move forward and accomplish greater things. Really, just saying who I was is not who I am today, and no one is who they were.
Right.
Back in 95, or heck, even who they were yesterday.
Right.
Because they've learned something or went through something, and now their outlook, their perspective, their attitude, or whatever has changed.
How many roadblocks have you learned from?
I've learned from quite a few, and I'm still learning. As long as I'm breathing, I'm always going to learn. That's a mission of mine, is to grow. Because when you're not growing, you're gonna die, and you're killing your mental, you're killing your spirit. And for me, it's important to continue to move forward and learn the lessons, because God protects fools and babies, not foolishness.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. That's
God
very
does not
true.
protect foolishness.
Yes.
And so
you don't have to be either one of them. We aren't babies anymore, but you don't necessarily have to be a fool either.
But for some, ignorance is bliss. Some it's blissful.
It can be comfortable.
It is.
Walk around like this. You don't see the brick wall.
Yeah, until you run into it.
Exactly. Just like
you
that.
don't see
Just
it,
like
but you
that.
feel it.
Yes.
So before we get to the tour, just a couple other things I want to make sure we get to. A chef.
I went to culinary school. I went to culinary school.
Yeah. Oh, okay. We can really come to Arizona when she in there. We can, yes, we can do this.
Well, had I known,
no, we wouldn't have you cooking.
I love to cook. I love
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Like you officially.
I have my associate's degree in culinary arts.
How was it sitting in the classroom and everybody know you, Adina Howard, versus trying to learn the business of what you're doing?
I did not go into the classroom saying I am Adina Howard, because it's nobody's business. I am a student. Well, not everybody knew my face though, which is a beautiful thing.
Okay, well let's talk about this, you guys. When I received you today into the station, not made up or anything, you know what I'm saying, like stage ready, I knew who you were. And then the guy, he's like, I'm like, I don't even know you. Okay, well, let me get her in here.
Oh, that must be, I know that.
I mean, he was tearing me up like.
Look, and the interesting thing is, I don't see what everybody else sees. I literally
you see yourself every day. That's
exactly.
Why.
So I literally think I blend in. I really, really do. And when people come up to me and they're like, "You look familiar," or "Are you?" And I'm like, damn, do I look like?
The only thing she's missing is the shortcut.
Yes, yes.
Other than that,
yeah.
That's so crazy to me. I don't see it. My mother asked me many moons ago, has it hit you yet? I'm like, has what hit me yet? Has it hit you yet? I'm like, what, mommy? What? She was like, being fat. I'm like, no, it hasn't hit me.
But once you stay grounded, to me, that's all
on
that
the
matters.
TV or heard in the music. Was like, I have aunts that you remind me of, because they're just a few years older than me. So it's you did not seem like the Whitney or the Tony.
I was the girl next door.
Right.
I was the girl next door because I was the girl next door. You know what I'm saying? Right. I didn't, my mother raised 4 girls by herself on welfare. Government cheese, food stamps, Section 8. I don't know gowns and, I know thrift stores and, the jelly shoes and buying the shoes that,
she said the jellies.
Right? Going to the grocery store and mom buying the shoes from the grocery store because they said, so I know that. I don't know all of the glitz and glamour. And even till this day for me, it's not about that. I'm still not into name brand. We just had the conversation. I'll go to Ross in a heartbeat. I love Ross.
Sponsor us, Ross.
Yes.
Sponsor this tour, Ross.
Exactly. Sponsor her to come back to Baltimore by herself, Ross. She's called it 40
she like
over
Marshalls too. We got no Marshalls
seasoned Ross.
Right.
So taking that then to the sexual liberation that a lot of people are now putting on your shoulder and the women of that time, I'll ask you a side question. How was it that the video vixen was able to be that sexualized, but the woman at the forefront wasn't. And do you think that's changed?
Because I was at the forefront.
That's right.
I wasn't behind. You know, I didn't come in after the fact.
Say it again.
Right?
She set the bar for those that wanted to try.
Well, no, I'm just saying, not even like the Little Kims or Foxy Browns, but I'm saying literally at the same time you was coming out, the guys had these same type of women who looked like Adina did, not so much, but they still were over-sexualized. They had on less clothes. You know, why was that more comfortable for the industry than
because
Adina with the short
Because Adina
shorts?
started it.
Well, men had, you know, to objectify women. First off, we live in a patriarchal society. So more often than not, what a man wants, a man gets.
Right.
And if a man wanted to objectify a woman, it was okay. But for a woman to objectify herself, so to speak, clutch my pearls, why would she do that? You know, I don't need a pimp to pimp me. You know what I'm saying? I don't need that.
I sign these checks.
Right, right.
Yes, you're your own brand.
Exactly. And so I think that was one of the reasons, is because it was okay for men to say, do this. But for a woman to say, I don't need you to tell me what to do and how to do it. I got this. Sit back and watch me.
Was that your major pushback? Being that forward?
I wasn't paying attention to any kind of pushback. I think if for the most part, for the pushback that did exist, it came from women, not men.
I heard an interview where you were saying Nancy Wilson you tried to embrace her, but she did not feel comfortable.
She was, you know what, it wasn't that she didn't feel comfortable. It was more so, how long are you going to do this? Like, you know, because she was a classy, you know, jazz woman or whatever, and she's looking at me, this young girl, and I get her mindset. Hindsight is 20/20, but I get her mindset. It's like, okay, you're doing this. Where are you gonna go from here? And my mind, and like most young people, it's not about the future. It's about the right now.
Because I'm timeless. Young people feel like I'm invincible.
Right, exactly.
They're not afraid of anything today. And
even back then, when we're younger, we do go into the world with this fearless mindset more often than not. Because one, we had everybody just in our ear, you can't do this, you can't do that. Now it's like, I'm going to do what I want to do because I'm not under the roof of ...
Yes, yes.
And we go out into the world and we, you know, we experience life, and we start to bump our head and scrape our knees and get cut up, and, you know, it's like, oh, whoa, wait a minute. We start to, you know, things start to shape us and mold us into who we become.
Right, that's how you find yourself. You got to make mistakes. You got to play the fool, not so much as play it because you want to, but just learn from your mistakes.
Ignorance can be bliss in the sense that it will help you grow as long as you grow.
Right.
Yeah. Keep one eye open.
Right.
If it's just the left or the right, as long as it's one, it's 20/20 vision.
Exactly. So that's what it was.
So what about the tour that you're doing today?
So the tour, the 90s tour that I'm loving the 90s. It's, you know, with people that I love so much. We got Next. Oh,
John B. H-Town.
Yes.
And Michelle A.
I'm trying to swing on the guy's arms. I'm just saying. I'm 40 and older, and it's just time.
You know what? I guess it's
off
beautiful
the groupie stuff. I'm not a groupie,
but you can go ahead and get
John B is like the best white man I've ever seen in my whole life, shorty. He tell you they don't know about this here. I just want to know.
And he loves sisters.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and he, you know what? She gonna see me today. I'll be like, hey, girl, can I take a picture with your man? That's how I am. I'm not scared of nobody. They better ask somebody. I don't care. That's right. I'm 44. What?
How is it with this same group that you kind of started this journey with? Now you all are back. A lot of the groups and the individuals are jumping back out there on the tour circuit
because they see the new music is garbage.
But yeah, and that's one of the things that we hear a lot of is like the new music is not the business, and so it's nice to be around my people again and for us to share the stage and to bring the energy back to the world that we were bringing in the 90s. So it feels good to be to share the stage with them. It feels good to be on this tour to say, okay, I get to, you know, I'm being embraced in a whole different light with a whole different generation of people because they need what we have to give.
Right.
So I'm loving it. I'm
Are you
enjoying
being
it.
embraced by some of those younger artists?
You know what's beautiful about my career is my career is cross-generational.
Okay.
So it's not just an older generation. It's not just the quote-unquote seasoned generation where the 40s and 50s or whatever. I got young people. I was in, where was I? There was someplace that was in the Midwest, and there was a young man said, he's 24 now, and he was like, when I was 4, I wanted, I heard Freak Like Me. Parents let him hear Freak Like Me.
It was at every cookout.
It was exactly.
And at 5, he said for his 5th birthday, he wanted the Do You Want to Ride album. And his daddy bought him the Do You Want to Ride album for his 5th birthday. And every time they got in the car, that was the only album they were permitted to play.
Oh, wow.
And Timmy's 25 now. And he was just and I was just like, wow. It's crazy. Because even now there's, because T-shirt and Panties is still playing. Freak Like Me is still playing on the radio. I think Freak Like Me in Arizona, it plays at least twice a day. In the morning for the morning drive. And then, the drive time, traffic coming home. So people are still listening to it. Young generations are still listening to it. So it's amazing.
I mean, does that inspire you to create more, or are you on the fence of, I got it? Because some of the acts that are coming back, they're strictly playing what the hits were, and they're afraid to kind of create new music. But you said that's
I'm an artist,
between, right?
And to not be creative and to not express myself where I am in my journey right now is blasphemy. It's a disrespect, because that's who I am.
Right.
And how dare I allow myself to stay in a box? Because now you're letting somebody control what you say and what you do and who you are, and that's not who I am. I will sing the songs, and embrace what got me started, but at the same time, I'm going to embrace what's going to keep me going.
So resurrections, I'm sorry.
It's a reflection.
Resurrection, is that just a teaser and you're creating more to shoot out towards?
Absolutely. There's new music coming for the new year. It's going to be an EP that I'm putting out that is, because I'm divorced now, so it's going to be about that journey.
She's available.
Hello, is she?
Baltimore.
We can't do that.
I'm single, but I'm not available. I'm single, but I'm not available because I'm not putting myself out there right now for that, so to speak. It's more about focusing on me. I've only been divorced going on 2 years, and right now it's just getting back into the swing of things and focusing on being an artist and doing what it is I've been called to do. And right now, I just need to focus. Right.
So that means, fellas, you gotta come with your AAAAA game.
My thing
everything.
Equal or greater value.
Right, exactly.
I tell people now I'm about a 401k relationship.
Right.
I know that's right.
I met
FICA is my best friend. Like, I want to know.
Right. What's your credit score? But the 401k is I'm gonna match what you put in. But one of the things I have to understand is somebody's 100% may just be 80%. And until you can pull maybe get another 2 or 3 or 5% out of them, their 80% is actually their 100. And so you can't really hold that against them because you need to teach people how to treat you. So maybe they can get to that 90% or maybe they can get to 100% when y'all come together and you meet in the middle.
So it's not like you've been journaling, and that takes us to, because we're going to end, because she got a life, she got a tour and a concert. And she has an upcoming book.
We're in the process of doing a book. It's an autobiography, so to speak. It's about my journey, my life, starting in my childhood, and how did I get from point A to where I am today. Yeah, so we're working on that, and we're allowing that book to write itself because the co-author is a therapist.
Okay.
And so Danny and I, when she's on the phone with me, I'm literally going through therapy.
Okay.
And uprooting some things that have been sown in me that are no longer serving me.
I mean, you know how some people, they come in here looking like, I've been crying for 6 months.
Well, she said therapist, she's working with
that's what I'm saying. You know how some people still, when they're in therapy, they still therapeutic.
Because it's a lot that they digging up.
They have to get out.
It's one of those things for me, and I think I know because of my relationship with the Creator, my foundation, I don't stress about stuff the way other people may stress about it. Like they say, if God brings you to it, God will bring you through it. Yes, indeed. And so I know for me that everything that I've gone through, you know, the peaks and the valleys, served a purpose. It's molding me, it's shaping me, and I recognize it's for the betterment of me, not just, you know, God being, you know, a vindictive, vengeful God and saying, you know what, you didn't do what you were supposed to do, so now I'm about to punish you, go stand in the corner.
Right.
And not teach me anything. Right. I know I serve a loving God, and I know that when it's all said and done, everything that is being done to me is for my greater good. And I just need to be still and allow myself to be molded, be taught, listen, and execute what I've learned. Because, you know, knowledge is powerful only when you apply it. Right. You can have all the knowledge in the world and still do dumb shit.
Because it's in the book at that point.
That's right.
Right. And you haven't exercised what you've learned, what you know.
Right. So we're going to take our final break. What she said?
What she said over here? What she said? She just gave y'all a don't be dumb lesson. That right there.
I normally try to tie it up, but
what she just said, she just did it for us.
We'll be right back. I know you say this time because it's 1:30 now.
And the guy, my friend was like, hey, there's a young lady walking down. He's like, hey, you should go holler at her. And I'm like, nah, man, you know, I'm a shy guy anyway, so I'm not gonna do that. But he's like, yeah, do it, man. Go ahead, do it. So I said, hey, how are you? She kept walking past, and my friend also yelled out something as well. So she had stopped and she had looked at us or whatever, and she said, this was the day before Christmas too, it was so bad. And she's like, God damn it, it's Christmas. Like, leave me alone. And I'm like, what's wrong? I'm just trying to talk to you. You know what I mean? Like, I'm literally trying to talk to her. I'm catcalling. And I'm thinking, like, you know, it's funny. You know what I mean? I'm literally thinking, this was a couple years ago. I'm literally thinking, like, this is funny. Huh? You know what I mean? Like, whatever. We get into that bar and she's there. Okay, and she lays me out.
Good for her.
She lays me out. I'll tell you, I mean, little do I know, I had dealt with a hardcore feminist that day. She even told me, she's like, I'm a feminist. You did not know that. You do not know who I am. You do not know where I'm from. You do not know who I know.
What's up, guys? It's your boy Shepsworth Bentley, and if you haven't heard last week's show, make sure you guys go into BeExposedRadio.com's Facebook page or YouTube page and check it out, because you don't want to miss it. Our next show is going to be next Sunday, every Sunday, 7 to 8 p.m., Homegrown Radio, new, fresh Baltimore radio.
Jason, I've got to tell you, you're pretty much everything this company is looking for in an entry-level candidate.
Great.
Your resume isn't quite what we're used to, but you've got a fantastic work ethic.
Thank you.
And I'm impressed by how you carry yourself.
So, should we talk about the job?
What? The job? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I have no way of recruiting or even meeting you. This interview didn't happen.
It may sound ridiculous, and that's because it kind of is. There's a huge pool of talent your company is missing out on. Meet the grads of life. Who are they? Talent worth knowing about. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or even mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
Man, we really could have used him.
Don't miss out on a resource many innovative companies have already discovered. Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
My name is Ruth Rusey. I'm a retired teacher. I'm 91 years old, and this is how I live united. I say retired, but not really. Once a week, I read books to children as part of United Way's education program. Reading to a child creates links between language and literacy. It creates a bond between grown-up and child. And believe it or not, it prepares them for a better academic future. Oh, we read about frogs and flies and pigs with wings, all sorts of juicy stuff. It's a joy to watch all those little faces. I figure I have the time and they have the need. And I've always believed that if we're not here to help each other, then what are we here for really? My name is Ruth Rusey. I help kids prepare to succeed in school. So I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer, live united.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
I had to learn how to walk in heels, higher heels. I walked in heels, higher heels, how to hold a microphone, especially a corded mic, having to work their mic and all that stuff.
Well, welcome back to the Artist Exchange Radio Show, here live only on BeExposedRadio.com. Now, this is your last opportunity to talk to Miss Adina Howard. We played her single that's out now, her second single,
Nasty,
from Resurrection, Nasty, and actually we're gonna play Blasphemy at the end of this segment. Nice. Tell me what's going on, because I've kind of did a crash course of Adina Howard the last couple of days, and I forgot some things. T-shirt and panties was in the.
He said that was just there,
I think I'm maturing from Freak Like Me. But that's strictly for the summertime. I don't allow myself to do that. Or Baltimore weather is crazy, so you can listen to that probably year round sometimes.
But T-shirt and panties, you can do that in the winter.
You can do that. That's in the comfort of my own home. But the girth of your music in terms of writing, where do you want to take your writing to in terms of, do you want to go to another level, or we go get a country album or a gospel, or
you know what, my career has no limits. What I want to sing about and what I want to do, the only limit that's placed on me is one that I've allowed to be placed on me. So I'm open to doing, and I love country music, I'm open to doing country music, jazz, I'm open to doing a rock song. I love music, so I'm open to all of that. And when it comes to not just the genre of music, but the lyrical content, it's important that I sow seed that is going to bless and not stress. So that's important for me. And we're going to be giving away, we're still going to do the contest. We're giving away the T-shirts and the CDs. So we're going to leave those here.
In celebration of the single Nasty.
Celebration of the single Nasty and the album Resurrection.
Resurrection.
Yeah, absolutely. So if they want to, just FYI, if you all want to reach out to me on social media, Instagram is The Real Adina Howard, Facebook Adina Howard, Twitter Adina Howard, and YouTube is Adina Howard, or A Howard Biz. Because when I moved over to the branding, they took away my
So I have a question that someone asked me this question, and I'm going to ask you because it was a curiosity type of thing. Are you with a label or are you independent?
I'm independent. I am signed to my own company.
Yes, that's what I say.
Yeah, Indelible Enterprises. I'm signed to my company. So, have our partner with different labels, be it single deals or an album deal.
Is that the best way for you right now? Or are you just capitalizing off of given circumstances and just the current of the environment?
It's the best way for me right now. In this moment in time, I'm able to be more productive, and I'm able to have the creative control that I need to have in order to put me out the way that I want to be perceived.
Is it a struggle now maintaining because you don't have that machine behind you right now? Not maintaining, but there's a difference without the machine.
It is definitely a lot more difficult because you do
have
to
challenging.
Yeah, it's very challenging. It can definitely be challenging because, like you said, you have the machine behind you, you have the relationships, you have the financial backing, you have radio, you have all of that because the infrastructure has already been set up and it's already insert artist here and they're off and ready to go. Being an independent artist, it's more challenging because you have to do it grassroots, and the relationships aren't there. And so one of the things that I learned is it's not who you know, it's who knows you.
That's right.
And,
how have you maintained those relationships over the years?
Being a loving
Can we say
person,
20 plus years?
20 plus, 23 going on 24. It's really, making sure that the people that I've come into contact with, that I respect them, and that they recognize that it's about business and it's about a partnership, and making sure that it's conducive and it's fair for everyone involved. Because I'm all about being fair. It's not about being greedy. It's not about trying to get more than the other person and trying to be slick and sly and lie. I don't have time for that. Been there, done that, in the sense that I've been on the receiving end of all of that. And because I've been on the receiving end of all of that, I have no desire to extend, dish that out to anybody.
Right.
But I don't mind the challenge. I don't mind the grassroots because it's helping mold me to be a better businesswoman.
How has any of your peers over the 20 plus years reached out to you? If so, who were those individuals in terms of your peers?
As far as it goes with?
Like other artists, other singers, other performers.
Just to chop it up and have conversation?
Yeah,
or to
beyond
work?
just working.
Or to even get advice.
Right.
On
I'll stick to that one.
See, for me, it's very interesting because my life, in my mind, is very normal. It's very normal. Like, I don't talk to celebrity folk every day. I talk to people that I grew up with. I talk to my business managers. And so when we see each other more often than not, we'll have conversations. They're like a handful of people that I can pick up the phone or that will pick up the phone and call me. But we're so busy, living our lives and working that we really don't have time for just, cordial, friendly, just random conversation. Well, what's up, homie? How you doing? It doesn't happen that often.
So I'm going to ask you once again, let us know about the giveaway and where we can find you at on social media and where you going to be at tonight.
I'm going to be...
It's at the Model Art Center. Model Performing Arts Center, the old Lyric. To those in Baltimore that knows it as the Lyric, yes.
Okay. So again, social media, Facebook, Adina Howard, Instagram, The Real Adina Howard, Twitter, Adina Howard. Ooh. Did you see what he did? Ooh. All of that. All of that. Right. SoundCloud, Adina Howard. Right.
Yes, Nate.
And then AdinaHoward.com. Thank you.
Yes. See, that's because you're busy.
I want you to forget anything.
Right. Hello, somebody. So, that's where they can reach me. We're going to give away some T-shirts. We're going to give away a couple of CDs. Okay. To make sure for those who have. And one of the things that people need to understand, if you go to AdinaHoward.com, you can download Resurrection for free. They can get the MP3 for free. However, if you stream, go to Spotify, Pandora. It's on all the streaming platforms. And if you are old school, like the true school, you can go to AdinaHoward.com and get a tangible copy, and it'll be mailed out to you.
I like CDs.
Good. I like CDs too. Yeah.
So my last question, I normally ask all my guests, what advice would you give to your 17-year-old self? Not to prevent anything, but what advice would you give to them when they do scrape that knee?
The 17-year-old self. Man, what would I tell? Don't watch what you say.
Absolutely.
Watch what you say, because you never know who's listening and you don't know who knows who. Watch what you say. Watch your mouth. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all.
There we go. Adina Howard, the lovely Miss Pebbles.
Thank you.
Thank you, Adina, for coming by, for sharing your moment in Baltimore with us today.
Thank you for having me.
If you're ever in town, this is always a home right here at BeExposedRadio.com. Tune in at 2 p.m., just a couple more minutes from now. We'll have Mr. Joe Tynes. He's Mr. Man on a Mission. So definitely come on back to the Artist Exchange Radio Show, only on BeExposedRadio.com. Have a nice day.
Blessings.
Whatever happened to the times when we cared for one another? We shared the same respect. What is happening? We're trading what's important for shiny things. I can't allow this blasphemy. It's blasphemy. Why would you treat yourself like that? We didn't come this far just to fall right back. Don't lose yourself, stay on track. Baby, you're a god. Baby, you're a god. Believe that. Full of the things that we've overcome. Full of unspoken battles we've won. You're so much better than that. Sometimes the truth ain't always catchy as rap. Stop chasing cheese or you'll get stuck in a trap. Go get your crown and never render it back. No, it's blasphemy. Why would you treat yourself like that? Stop all that blasphemy. We didn't come this far just to fall right back. Baby, you're a god. You're a god. You're a god. You're a god. Baby, you're a god. You're a god. Baby, about ignorance is their permission to. I know you like to turn up like that, with a drink to pull up like that. Well, baby, there ain't nothing wrong.
And we're back with more Cheryl Underwood Radio.
Thank you.